Craig Sullivan, your host. This is CLIC Connect. And you know what? We've got a show for you today. But before we start that, I wanted to let you know that, we're all about bringing you the leaders in California hospitality. And we do occasionally go beyond the borders of California. And we are today. Matter of fact, we're doing an international show. My producer is in Europe. So producer Danny's off having a great time in Europe right now. And our first guest is, our only guest, I should say, is Deena Bakowitz, Fireball Network. She is the founder and the chief Fireball. Deena, welcome to the show. How are you?
Hey, I'm so happy to be here with you.
It's good to see you, my friend. It's been way too long.
Since we met on the garden outdoor plaza area at a hotel conference, sitting in chairs, last day of the conference, just started chatting, getting to know each other.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And that was more than a couple of years ago at this point. So Deena, do me a favor. Would you tell the audience about yourself and Fireball Network, please?
Absolutely. Well, it all started when I am a business and career coach and a professional speaker and trainer, and I am also a stand-up comedian. And as I like to say, Craig, you have the voice for radio and I have the height for stand-up comedy. For anyone out there who doesn't already know me, I'm super tiny. And I like to say you may not be able to see me in a room, but you will know I am there. How's that for a non-traditional bio? Like anyone can read off a list of here's where I went to school and here's where I worked. And these are all the hotel clients I work with, and all that is true. But because my focus is really on people connecting, as is the hospitality industry, it's always about let's find something fun. Let's find something funny. Let's get to know each other as human beings before we whip out the resumes and the business cards.
There you go. So, Deena, how do you help people become comfortable with networking? Because it's a skill that may be disappearing.
I hate to think disappearing. I think some of the our previous pre-pandemic techniques have changed. We will eventually get them back again, but like anything else, we need to adapt. And it's always, networking has always been something that people can learn. Some people have a natural instinct for schmoozing. Some people are extroverts, some people are introverts or ambiverts in between. But it's a skill that you can always learn something new. You can always improve. Some people call it a soft skill. I don't like the term soft skill. I believe networking is a critical career skill, like negotiation, communication, emotional intelligence. And so one of the things that I do is I teach networking to individuals. I coach them on strategy, who's in your network, how do you reach out to them, what are your goals, what's your brand? And then I also absolutely love delivering workshops. And so, for example, our dear friend Stacy Silver, who I was talking to today, I am guest lecturing for her class at Cornell School of Hotel Administration. It's called Experiential Networking with Professor Stacy Silver. And so we go through the concept of why is networking scary or difficult? What is the emotional component to it, right? Human beings connecting, there's always insecurities, doubts, fears, how we present, how we show up, what people think of us, what we think of other people. Then there's the intellectual component of what's your strategy? What's your goal? How do I go about this? And then there's taking action. So like anything else in life, it's not just going to land in your lap. You have to get out there and make it happen. And opportunities will happen if you set the stage for them.
Well, let's talk about that for a minute. So how do you set your action before an event and you're going into a room where you may know 5 people, 20 people, there's 200 in there? That could be intimidating for people. How do you set your action? How do you get your tone? How do you get your groove on?
How do you get your groove on? I love that. How people got their groove back. I like to say, we've forgotten how to people because of the pandemic. Everyone's like, how do I talk to somebody? We're so used to waving at the end of a Zoom call. One of the techniques I use is and scene. That's my theater background. But how do you prepare for an event? So ahead of time, it starts ahead of time. Where are you going? For example, if it's CLIC, if it's a California Lodging and Investment Conference, why are you going there? Who do you need to meet? Who do you want to meet? What are your goals? Are you selling services? Are you looking for a job? Are you trying to gain information for research? Are you looking for a collaboration? There's many different reasons. So do your homework. Absolutely do your homework, do your research. And there's so many tools. There's LinkedIn, there's all social media, there's Clubhouse, Instagram, even Facebook, right? And then the good old fashioned, hey, Craig, I see that this person who, Joe Schmo is speaking. I'd really love an introduction to him for XYZ reason. Would you be willing to make an introduction for me? And let me send you a quick sentence of what that introduction should look like. You can say yes or no, but using your network to build relationships. And then when you go to the conference, whether it's virtual or in person, it used to be we'd hand out business cards. We still have virtual business cards. Everything from your LinkedIn profile to your bio to what appears on any screen. Like I put Deena Fireball Bakowitz because that's how I'm known. I'm too short for middle name. So Fireball is just easier. Oh my God, you're such a great audience. Come back for the second set at 7. And don't forget to tip your server.
There you go. 20%
So preparation,
at least. Yeah.
At least. So preparation is definitely the strategic. It's the specific. It's the attendee list, if you can get it, right? Setting up meetings ahead of time, even virtual meetings. And then when you're there, how do you show up in that room? What are your talking points? Nobody wants anybody to just launch into hi, here's my business card. Let me sell you my services. Can I pitch to you?
Right.
That's very off-putting and it's not hospitable. So having a game plan, not that I really use game analogies all that much. I mean, I speak 4.5 languages and I can't talk about sports in any of them, but game analogies are absolutely appropriate. And here's another technique for preparing. Know yourself. To thine own self be true. What is your brand? What is your preferred style, right? So I'm an extrovert and you're an extrovert. We can talk to anyone, anywhere, anytime at all. Like, no problem, right? Planes, trains, automobiles, elevators, virtual, wrong numbers. I went on job interviews 20 years ago that even though I turned down the job or it just wasn't the right fit, I'm still connected to those people and we remember each other. But knowing how you show up and what your preferred style is, if you're a little more introverted, a room with 5,000 strangers is not going to work for you. Set up your one-on-ones. Go, if you're not comfortable with a whole room full of people you don't know, start with the people you do know. The buddy system. We did that when we were kids. It works equally well as grown-ups, right?
Yeah,
any age or stage, if you're making a career transition. And it's lovely. There really is that strength in numbers, and we are a community. So embrace the fact that we're all human. We all have little fears and insecurities. It's like that, that kid in high school saying, oh, you're a loser. They're not going to like you. No one's going to want to talk to you. And I'm like, well, I'm going to talk to you. And what's the worst that can happen? Someone's busy. They ignore you. Like there's 4,999 other people to talk to. Move on to the next one. And then, conversation topics. One of my pet peeves is talking about the weather, because in the history of networking, in the history of business, no one has ever said, hi, remember me from CLIC conference? And I talked about the rain. Like, who are you? No, I would have run screaming. I would have run into the storm if you tried to talk to me about the weather. Unless you're a meteorologist, it's really, or selling umbrellas. And even then, but what do you want to share with people? Like, you and I prepared for this, right? It sounds off the cuff and there's definitely spontaneity. But I knew I had that line about the voice for radio and the height for stand-up. I knew what we were going to talk about in general. I have a notebook with talking points here. I'm not shy to share that. I want to talk about branding and networking across all levels of the hotel industry, building relationships with everyone from students to CEOs to CLIC founders.
Now, how did you become so passionate about networking and helping others?
I was alone a lot as a kid. I did not have friends. No, it's true. I was shy. I was insecure. I was weird. I mean, I still am, but at least I own it now.
Yeah. Own your weirdness. Be proud.
Meryl Streep has an incredible quote. It was at one of the Oscars where she's like, "What makes you weird? That's what makes you special. That's who you are." We are all weird and different in our own way. I recently discovered I have ADHD. I mean, it's not surprising. I just only found out this year. So, but what made me truly want to connect people is because I was alone and lonely as a kid, and I didn't like feeling less than. And I didn't like being left out. And I wanted to make sure that no one else went through that. And I discovered my inner extrovert. I truly am an extrovert by nature. And so being able to use my talent to help other people, I went into social work. I went into theater. I went into business. And I love meeting new people. I genuinely have a passion for it. And I have a talent for making connections between people. And I also, when I went to my first hotel conference where I met you, I was coming from the real estate industry, and I went to my first hotel conference. It's like, these are my people. Everyone is so friendly and so warm and welcoming. And someone said to me, he's like, "We're in the hospitality industry. We're just more fun. We care." And, so sometimes it's trusting your gut. Sometimes it's exposing yourself to different industries and sectors. I mean, I don't know any little girl that grows up and says, "When I grow up, I want to be a networking coach." But chief networking officer is a title I created, and it just fit. Like, I'm not a CEO or a CFO. It's not about being a chief anything. It's about helping people connect. And that is truly every single industry, whether you're in healthcare, whether you're in arts and entertainment, in the hotel industry, in law. It's all about the relationships you build.
Okay, so let's little bit, you brought up, gut instincts and things like that. So overthinking or gut instinct, what serves you better when you're networking?
Gut instinct.
Okay, why?
For me, overthinking, I stress myself out. Now that's a personal, right? We are like, know yourself. For some people, especially introverts and analytical people like engineers, lawyers, they want to prepare. They're not comfortable. They're nervous when they walk in without all the information. If I over prepare, I don't want to have an entire script. I love to live in the moment. I love to react to what we're doing. And everyone needs to learn a combination of be prepared and also be present. Don't respond. Don't listen with the intention of replying. It's listen with the intention of absorbing and truly connecting. It's not a script. I mean, if I'm on stage and when I'm on stage, and I am on stage for workshops and keynotes and comedy sets, I've rehearsed. I know my script. But when I'm talking to people, I mean, would you want to hear me be like, la, 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 hold on, pause for laughter, line, what's my line, cue, and I also, I found out for me, humor and comedy is such a part of my brand that it worked and it made other people feel comfortable. And I love that. Like, comedians love to make other people happy, and we love to bring people together that way, and we love getting the laugh. So, don't encourage me because I'll keep going. But meanwhile, more and more people are coming. And then it's, "Oh, Craig, have you met Stacy? Let me introduce you. Here's why you should connect." Or, "Oh, you know each other. Well, have you met, my friend Jane over here? And here's why you two should meet each other. And, oh, tell her about your program because I think she'd be a fantastic guest for CLIC Connect talking about these 3 topics." It's service, hotel service, networking. It's being of service, whatever we choose to do in life. It's about using your skills, hopefully, playing to your passions and to your strengths, and surrounding yourselves with like-minded people, but not people who are all alike.
Right. No, you've got to have those differences. So, okay, this is going to be the last question before we jump into the lightning round. How do you create your best networking persona with keeping it authentic?
No, don't fake it. Fake it till you make it doesn't work. How do you network with well, I think the question has the answer. It's know yourself. What is your authentic networking persona? What's your professional, personal brand? Hotels have brands that they work on and evolve, and they work on the messaging. Know your own brand. And being authentic really means to be a human being. If you don't remember someone's name, it's okay to say, "I know we've met. I recognize you. I'm sorry, I don't remember your name." Or, "How do you pronounce your name?" I mean, really, these days more than ever, just be human. Present your best self, be professional, right?
Right.
You're still in a business context, whatever stage and age you're at. You're there for professional reasons. You're representing your company, you're representing your team, you're representing your school, yourself. And find out how you can be of service to others. So it's not just, I need this, I need that. It should always be about how can we help each other? How can we get to know each other? And if you genuinely care about getting to know about other people, I find people fascinating. I'm truly curious about people. I love to talk to strangers and ask questions. That's me authentically. Getting me to stop talking may be part of the issue. That's part of the brand. There's always room for improvement.
There you go. There you go. Okay, Deena, we're going to move on to our lightning round. I'm going to throw out some words, a phrase or two, just the first thing that pops into your head, okay?
Okay.
You ready? We're going to put 2 minutes on the clock, Producer Danny. So let's see if we can get this done in 2 minutes. Here we go. First one, millennials.
People.
Gens X, Y, and Z.
Me, you, and some of our friends.
Now, I'm a boomer, so
I don't know.
I don't fit in that.
You know what?
But that's good. Keep going. Okay. Elevator pitch.
Make it fun and interesting.
Balance.
Balance. Okay. One word answers?
Whatever you want.
Oh, balance. Balance beam. Balance in life. Work-life balance. Am I supposed to keep going, or is it just one?
No. Just one answer. Best part of New York City.
All of it. Gonna make me cry.
Team.
Pardon me?
Team.
The best way to work.
Purpose.
Mission.
I want to, but.
Pass.
Okay.
I mean, I could be honest. I want to return to New York City, to my home, but there are legal and logistical and global issues at stake right now.
Well, it's more of like when you're talking to people, they say, I want to, but ... You know, it's like they're making it up an excuse. But that's okay.
I want to help you, but.
No,
okay.
Right. Yeah. No asshole rule.
Yes. No asshole rule. Yes, I agree. Don't be an asshole.
Work-life balance.
Very important. But the more you can combine the two, the better it is.
Why should you be a coach?
Me?
Yeah.
Because I have years of experience, a social work degree, natural skill sets. Are you asking me?
There you go. And guess what? Second time in a row, we've done it in 2 minutes.
Ooh!
Very good. With 6 seconds to spare. So, Deena, let's talk about your coach.
Okay.
Now, you've been engaged by a company and they want you to improve the relationship between the workers and middle management.
Okay.
How would you take that on?
This we did not prepare for, just FYI.
Nope.
This is a great question. So fundamentally, it is about relationships, right? It's not about hierarchy, and it's relationships and the goal of the company. The goal is to serve your clients, to serve your brand, to serve your guests. So first of all, it's not middle management against people. We are in this together. So change the dynamic if necessary to say, hey, we are all on the same team. We all have the same mission and purpose. That being said, where are the roadblocks, or where are the issues? Where's the struggles? Where are the misunderstandings? Like, yes, there's problems. Nothing's absolutely perfect. So let's be honest. What's going on here? Where are there gaps? What's gone wrong? Give me a specific example. Like, I can't make one up out of the top of my head, but maybe there was a guest complaint. Maybe there was, a meeting that did not end well. Maybe there's a conflict or an issue with a performance review. Got to get to know each other. We got to get to understand each other. And we have to respect each other's strengths and not strengths. So get the teams together and start talking, and then break it down, organize it. I mean, I'm working a little bit in a vacuum here, but problem A, problem B, problem C. Give me an example, A, example B, example C, and then start looking at, okay, what can we do to make this better? Putting people in a room to talk where they're not being pitted against each other and not being felt, not being made to feel like they have to prove themselves. Like when you're like, why should you be a coach? And I'm like, oh my God, do I have to justify 20 years of career history on the spot?
Yeah, you do.
Like I have to do that for my clients, but it's like, read my testimonials for God's sakes. A lot of people think I'm pretty good.
Well, and I'm one of them.
I know. But you know what? It is something where viscerally we're like, uh-oh, I'm on the spot. Someone's trying to hurt. It's a human. It's a brain and a whole physiological, we are wired.
Fight or flight.
Yeah, we are wired for negativity, which we have to constantly fight against. So that's a good example of let people know the context of, hey, we're not here to criticize you or put you in danger or put your job in danger. We're here to make everyone improve and do better and make the company better. So if we can have that ground of respect and trust, then we can work through the problems together. So not making people feel like, oh my God, I'm on the spot if I can't prove myself. But I did use the point of, hey, read my testimonials. That's where the networking, like I know I'm digressing, but I really do know what your question was. It's how does networking come into play in a company? It's building relationships, build relationships within your team, build relationships with other teams, with other departments across all. The more relationships you have, the more people who know you and the more people who you know, that you are resources for each other. And that is what networking is. That's what social work is. So people are like, how'd you go from social work to, and it's figuring out people's problems and finding the resources to solve them. And those resources may be courses, coaching, workshops, other people, training, skills. We all want to do a great job and succeed and be happy.
Right. No, that's it. And you know what? My show, my last word. That's exactly it. You take your team at a hotel, you build that cohesive unit where you have got servant leadership. It's shoulder to shoulder. You understand and appreciate one another and you work together. I don't care if it's the engineer, the maid, the doorman, the bellman, the front desk, the bartender, the waiter, waitresses, everybody in that hotel is an ambassador for your hotel. Yeah. And they should all be looking up at the guests saying, hello, how are you? Can I help you? When I come into a hotel, I make a point of saying hi to every associate on premise that I possibly can. And you know what? I get a lot of great responses because I think part of the problem out there is some of these associates are feeling like they're invisible, and that's not fun for anybody. So that's why I wanted to get you on here. Deena, we are out of time. So how can they get a hold of you?
Deena at fireballnetwork.com is my email. I am on all the social media, LinkedIn, Deena Bakowitz, Clubhouse, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube at Fireball Deena. I love to connect. As you know, I have a link to my calendar on all my social media. Book a call, fireballnetwork.com/book a call. I would love to talk to anybody who wants to have a conversation. I talk to strangers.
Deena, thank you for being on the show today and being a part of the conversation. I really appreciate it, my friend. It's good to see you.
It was a blast. Thanks, Craig.
Take care. Thank you to our audience for joining this conversation as well. If you'd like to suggest a guest or a topic, DM producer Danny or myself. And also, I'd like to thank our production partners, Red Roof Franchising. They're always there to help you. Give them a call. And Chicago Titles National Commercial Services Group, based here in California, but it's in the title with them. They do work nationally. So both groups are outstanding, and they'd love to hear from you. Tell them that producer Danny and I sent you, and they'd love to talk to you. So, as I'm fond of saying, be kind, share your knowledge. Now, go be amazing.